Hey YouTubers, thank you so much for tuning back in, and in this episode I'll be showing you how to use and install deepfakes on a Macintosh operating system. I'll be using a 2013 MacBook Pro for this process, and it doesn't have a GPU, so I'll be using CPU instead. We will start the process by installing Amphetamine from the App Store. What this application does is it will help prevent Macintosh from automatically sleeping. After installation, open the application and you'll get an icon of Amphetamine in the taskbar above. Click on the icon and select indefinitely, and this will prevent your Mac from sleeping. To make this whole process easier, I'll be using Anaconda Environment, and for that you need to install Python 3.7 version. I'll put the links for that in the description below. Download that and install it following the on-screen instructions. Once the installation is completed, we need to download Deepfacelab project from the GitHub page, and then you need to extract the contents of the Deepfacelab zip file to the following folder, which is documents, and then you need to create a deepfakes folder and then use Deepfacelab. Generally advisable for you guys to follow the same base directory, as the whole process which is following is totally dependent on that, and it will be easier for you guys to follow the process. The ease of access, all the commands I'll be typing for this process, I'll be putting them in the description below, and I'll name them accordingly so that you can use it easily. Next, we need to open the terminal app and use the command to change the directory to the base directory. You can find the command in the description below. For the next step, we'll be needing to create a conda environment with Python version 3.6. You can find the command under command #1 from the description below. Now that our environment is created, let us activate it using command 2 from the description below. Once the environment is created, we need to install the dependencies using the command 3 from the description below. This will install all the required Python packages for the application to work properly. Next, you'll be needing to use command 4 to install the torchvision dependencies. Once this is installed, we'll be making some changes to bash_profile file to minimize the errors that we may face during the process. Next, we'll be editing the bash_profile file using this command, and copy the contents which you can find in the description below under bash_profile. After you paste it, you use Ctrl+X and type yes to save the file. Let us now load the edited bash_profile file using the following command, and use command 2 from the description below to activate the conda environment, which is deepfakes environment, and finally use the base directory command which you can find in the description below to enter the project folder. For any of the other commands that you'll be using later on in the project, you need to be having the environment enabled, and also you need to use the base directory for sure. Next, we'll be creating a workspace directory with all capital letters, and this folder will be containing all the project related files that are data_source and data_destination videos. I'll be using these two test videos. I'll be showing them in a second. Copy these two files in the workspace folder, and then we'll continue the process. Let us now check the videos which I'll be using for this project. These are the sample videos which I'll be using, so let's see them now. Now that everything's done, let us now extract the frames from data_src using the command 5. You can find that in the description below. Copy and paste the command in the terminal, and this will start the extraction process. What this does is it will split the data_source MP4 file into frames. When the program asks for the FPS value, we can press enter to use the default settings. This will take some time as everything is done on CPU, and the 2013's Intel i5 processor is quite slow. Extracted frames in the data underscore src folder in the workspace directory. Similarly, extract the frames from data underscore destination video using the command 6 from the description. Copy and paste it in the terminal and you'll start the process. You can find the extracted frames in the data underscore dst folder. Now that the frames are extracted, we'll be extracting the faces from these frames using the command 7. Paste the command 7 in the terminal and this will start extracting the faces. Find the extracted faces in the align folder under the data underscore src directory. Similarly, use command 8 to extract faces from the data underscore dst frames. Now that the faces are extracted, we need to clean them before we start the training process. You need to delete the faces which aren't clear enough or which are having blurry images. Also, if there are any faces which are covered by hands or anything else, you need to delete them too. Delete them, clean the dataset, and use some extra caution while doing this process, as this process will determine the final video quality. So take some extra time, as I told, and clean all the faces which aren't clear enough or whichever image is blurry. Repeat the process for both destination faces and source faces too. To start training the model, use command 9 from the description below and paste it in the terminal, and this will start training the model. And for this model, I'll be using mostly default settings, and except for or flip faces randomly, which I'll be using no, and remaining I'll be using the default settings by pressing enter. And this will start the training process. I have trained this model for approximately 30 hours and I got some decent results using that. So if you want better results or the final video, you can train for more time. Reason, if the training got cancelled or stopped in between or got disturbed, you can reuse the command 9 to continue the training process. Have trained for enough amount of time, you can find the similarities between the source and destination faces, and there will be less amount of blurring at the center. This means that the model is trained, and you can stop the training by pressing enter. After typing enter, it will take some time to stop the training process. Now that the training is done, use command 10 from the description below to start the swapping process. Type N when asked for whether we want to use an interactive converter. This process will take loads of time as we're using CPU instead of GPU. And also you can check the merge frames in the merge directory. You can find it under the workspace folder. Now that the faces in the frames are swapped, let us use the command 11 to stitch these frames back into a proper video. Find the final results.mp4 file in the workspace folder. To make this video, it took a lot of effort and time, and to figure out all the commands and setting up the environment was quite tedious. I hope you liked the video and the process, and you can subscribe to my channel to get future updates. And if you people don't like watching the video or spending this much time, you can find the whole process in my blog. I'll put the link for that in the description below. And this is the final video which I got using the Macintosh operating system. It was quite fine, and yeah, if you're having a GPU, it would have been much faster to make the whole process. But I have used CPU because most of the Mac laptops don't have a GPU. In the future, I'll be making a video in which I'll be using GPU to make the whole process for the Macintosh OS. And then if you like this video and want to contribute to my work, you can buy me a coffee using the link in the description below. Thank you so much, people. This is Vamsi from Tech Fortress, and I'll meet you in the next video. And take care and have a nice year ahead.